Hi, I'm Karen. We're here at Montavilla Sewing Center, and today we're talking about the Baby Lock Allegro. In this video, I'm going to show you the touch panel and stitch combinations. So when you first turn on your machine, this is the screen that you get. Now this little blinking light up here just means that you need to lower your presser lever in order to start sewing. Up here we have the stitch number, which corresponds to your stitch chart up here, and that is center needle position straight stitch with a standard stitch length. Over here we have the little icon showing that we have the foot control plugged in. If you had that unplugged, that would disappear. Down here we have a little foot showing that you have your regular standard foot on. And there are a couple other feet that are shown, like your buttonhole foot and your button sewing foot. So that's really best to look in your manual to find out which foot to use for a particular stitch that you're choosing. Down here we have stitch width and stitch length. This little button up here is automatically turned on. That means that when you come to the end of your seam, your needle will be down in your fabric until you raise the needle either with your up-down button or use your cutter, your thread cutter, and that will cause the needle to go up. You can turn that off so that when you come to the end of your stitching, the needle will be in the up position. But just keep in mind that when you turn your machine on again, that needle will be in the down position. Here we have the navigation keys, which are really nice. Now, this key here, these keys on the end that are double arrows, means that you can navigate forward by 10 stitches. So say, for instance, you want to have stitch number 31. You can just press that until you get there. Now, you can also move by single stitches. Say I wanted number 29, I could go back here like that, just moving single stitches with these single arrows. The OK has to do with memorizing and doing a combination of stitches. Down here, I already talked about that one. These two also have to do with stitch combining and doing repeated stitch motifs. We'll get into that later. This is the key that you would press if you want to have an automatic cut after you've done a locking stitch. So I do locking stitch, and it automatically cuts my thread and leaves these little short thread tails. Over here we have the twin needle button, and if you press that, that means that you can sew with a twin needle. It looks like this here, and you can have two spools of thread. There's a spool pin that you can put here, and this spool pin, and have two different colors of thread or the same color of thread, and do some really nice motifs. The idea of having this particular button is to prevent you from doing too wide of stitches. That just tells the machine not to do a really wide zigzag or decorative stitch. So we can turn that off. If you've accidentally turned that on and you're having trouble getting your zigzag to be wide enough, just make sure that icon is not showing up by pressing it a second time. This is your mirror key, and that has to do with any stitch motif that you want to turn over. That's really helpful when you're sewing, say, a line of stitches maybe along the hem of a child's garment, and you don't want to have the body of the child's garment here. You want to have it over on the left-hand side and the hem right here. So it's nice to be able to turn over a line of stitching. This is your letters and numbers icon right here. And it's not shown up here on the stitch chart. You would have to look in your manual to see what number to put in to get the correct letter. Down here is a wonderful button that I just really love. I'm going to show you, for example, if I skipped ahead to some of these other stitches and I wanted to go back to straight stitch, just one push of the button gives me the center needle position straight stitch. Now, second push of the button gives me the applique stitch, which is a shorter zigzag, really nice for appliquing on quilts and things like that. You can also lengthen that to give you a standard zigzag, or you could just navigate forward to zigzag. I'll show you how to do that. That would be stitch 006. We can just move ahead to that, and there we have our zigzag. Okay, these two buttons here help us get to an area. Here, I'll go like that. Number 62, that's it, this right here. So say you wanted a stitch that's near there, but you didn't want to have to just keep pressing the button or even do the tens button. You could get there quickly by just pressing that button. Same with this one. That's going to give you 157. So what you want to put in is near that area, or if that's the exact one you want to do, there you go. This is another nice one here. That's going to give you square end buttonhole, which is the most common type of buttonhole that people put in. You can also navigate forward to get different kinds of buttonholes if you want to. Again, I love this button right here. So now let's get into some decorative stitches and stitch combining with letters. Okay, to do your decorative stitches, you want to use the correct foot. This is your standard foot. This is your decorative stitch foot. The difference is the standard foot is nice and flat on the bottom. Your decorative stitch foot has a channel for some of those thicker stitches to get through. Good for lettering and good for your satin stitches that you have here. Any decorative stitch is good for that. So that's what I'm going to put on my machine. Put this one away for now. We lower the presser lever, and that's how we get that on there. Okay. Then you also want to use a stabilizer, and I've used a tearaway stabilizer on this for thinner fabric. This is quilting cotton. I'm using this tearaway stabilizer, and you can see the difference between what I've done a zigzag with no stabilizer under it, and see how much flatter that is with the stabilizer. So let's do some programming here. What I'm going to do is stitch 158. There we go. Now, if I wanted to put that into a combination of stitches, I would want to do this here, push OK. Now, that's going to give me one stitch, and then this shows you that there's one stitch in the stitch combinations. But we're ready for the second one to be in there. So let's say I wanted to put something else. Well, let's say I wanted to put 153. Well, if I did that, I'm going to show you something about 153. That actually joins in the middle. If we're going to have a star, 158, we want to have something that joins on the baseline, like maybe lettering combination. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just put this letter, because all the letters join on the baseline, and I'm going to say OK. And then I'm going to skip ahead a little bit to some of the lowercase letters. Go back A, B, and say OK. And then I'm going to go forward to a space. We can say that. There's that one. I'm going to go forward to, oops, I'm going to do some of these A, B, C. There we go. There. Now I've got 5 in there, the star, the A and the B, the space, which is the 4th one, and then the 5th one is the C. I'm going to put a star at the end because I want to do that too. So I'm going to go ahead up to this here, one more forward, and then that. Okay. Let's stitch away and see what this looks like. Push the cutter button, and there we go. And that's what it looked like. And notice there's that space right here. There's a star at the beginning and at the end. Now I used some nice black contrasting thread. That's another thing I would suggest you do. Make sure that your thread contrasts well with your fabric, and make sure you use fabric that is solid color as opposed to a print, and your motif will show up really well. Now, I did talk about this right here. This means that if I press that button, it would give me AB space C star, and then another star, AB space C, and another star. It would keep repeating that over and over. But if you have just a name that you wrote, kind of like what I have here, my Karen, I just wanted one of those, so I had that turned off. Now notice each of these letters are individual. That's because I went back with my scissors and cut out the single joining threads between each letter. So you can do that because each letter is sealed at the end with a locking stitch. That's the touch panel and stitch combinations. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give us a thumbs up. We have lots of other videos on this machine and on other machines here on our Montavilla YouTube channel. If you have comments or questions or an idea for a video you'd like to see, leave that in the comments area down below. Thanks for watching. Bye.